cunning looks than swift.
Proper thumping that from Pakistan, and they bring it brings a smile to the cricket-loving public at home as the Asia Cup returns, and it sees Babar Azam's side pick up the 2 points. It just took 2 balls shy of 24 overs for them to dismiss Nepal for just 104. That after Babar Azam won the toss and decided to bat, and 2 centurions have managed to outscore the entire Nepalese opposition. We come back to takeaways from both teams on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Matchday, powered by JBL. We'll hear from Urooj, Mumtaz in just a moment. Wasim, Jaffer first with me in studio. I think this was a result that was on expected lines, but perhaps disappointing that we didn't see more of a fight from Nepal. Wasim?
Yeah, I expected their batters to stand up against the quality of Pakistan bowling. So didn't get to see that, but they'll learn from this experience. This will come in handy. Early days for them in the elite group, but they'll live and learn.
Urooj, Mumtaz, if you're looking at this from a Pakistan point of view, Shadab Khan, who we spoke pre-match, has not been the force that he was a few years ago, ends up with 4 wickets. Iftikhar gets 100 to remember. This is more than just a big win. It's a very pleasing win, I guess, from a Pakistan point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I used the word that it has to be a strong, dominating performance earlier on. I think that's what it is. Normally, we see with Pakistan so often that they somehow manage to mirror minnow oppositions when they play up against them, and they almost sort of match the way they're playing. Contrary to that, and for pleasing for to watch for Pakistan, it was a dominant effort by them. Very, very comfortable. And like you mentioned, Shadab outshone the rest of the 3 quicks, which when we know what we expect from the 3 quicks. It was Shadab that had to come to the party, and picking up 4 will definitely boost his confidence to go along with the 3 seamers.
Yeah, just a couple of 20s in that Nepal scorecard and 3 batters getting to double figures. That was all that we could see, but there was a clear gulf. Shaheen Afridi, we thought the entire first innings went by without not much swing, but when Shaheen Afridi bowls, it just doesn't look like a contest, Wasim. So you almost sympathize to a degree for these Nepal top order batters.
Yeah, I do. And obviously they won't have faced this kind of pace, this kind of quality, and bowler after bowler. 3 seamers, because I thought Sompal and Arif, they batted decently till Haris Rauf came in, and as soon as he came in, you could see the the pace shift, the speed obviously went from 140, 138, 140 to 145, 146, and you could see them getting troubled, and that's what pace can do. But this will come in handy, like I said. This experience will help them grow as cricketers.
Yeah, I mean, Babar Azam, second highest ODI score, 151, won the toss. Pakistan posting 342, including 129 in the last 10. Iftikhar with a maiden ODI 100 to remember. Sompal Kami put in a good shift, took the new ball, 10 overs, 2 for 85, batted at number 5 and top scored. Along with Arif Sheikh, there was some resilience, but Shadab Khan, Haris Rauf and Shaheen with the new ball, as we expected, were just too good. Let me get a word from you, Urooj, on Nepal. I guess they can only take plenty from the experience of playing Pakistan in ODI cricket for the first time. They will have a game against India too. We're not quite seeing the finished product of a team, but it's plenty for them to still take from this.
Yeah, it was always going to be a tall ask. I mean, once Pakistan piled on 342, it was never going to be easy. But again, like we were discussing mid-innings, it was about them playing the game in bits and trying to finish off as best as possible. Obviously, this is probably far from Nepal's best batting outing that we've seen today. But like Wasim mentioned, the quality of the pace attack and then the pace itself. I mean, Haris Rauf at one point was clocking 150 Ks, and that's brutal, relentless. And you could see the batters backing away, exposing all stumps. So it was almost, it was almost a repeated, very easy task for the 3 seamers. So I think for Nepal, plenty of learnings, plenty of experiences, and we've been talking about this, first of a kind for them to face up against such oppositions. They've got a few more outings to learn and improve on.
If India had for some reason not been following Pakistan's ODI game for some time, and they just would have tuned into this match and seen Rohit Paudel, LBW like that, yes, we should make a mark of where those 2 cricketers are in their game. But a nice little warning for India that Pakistan's pace bowlers are very much firing and at their best, if at all they needed this to be that warning.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you know what to expect from Naseem Shah, Shaheen Shah Afridi and Haris Rauf. The quality bowlers. Even the Nepal batters know what to expect, but to expect and to go out and execute is two different things. So the Indian batters, when they come on 2nd September, they'll obviously know what Shaheen Shah Afridi is going to do. But how you execute them under pressure, that's the question we will find out on the 2nd September.
Could they have done anything, if you go back to the first innings, Wasim, to try and somehow stay in the game? There are a couple of runouts that can always get a team going, in a little bit of luck going your way. Nepal had that in 2 runouts and a soft dismissal at the top. If you were to talk to that Nepal team about where, moments that you learned from this to try and remain in the game in the first innings, were there any?
I thought, as we spoke in the mid innings, up until 25-30 overs, they were in the game. They put Pakistan under a check. But as the game, goes bigger, you find out your shortcomings. Your 5th bowler, your 4th bowler, your 6th bowler. You understand the fast bowlers who come out and bowl their 2nd and 3rd spell. It becomes tougher and tougher with the old ball, the conditions, the batters getting in. So they'll live and learn. That's what I feel. This experience will come in handy because when they play associate teams, this doesn't happen. The batters don't go that hard. The batting probably finishes at around 4, 5, 6. So they don't get that quality and they don't get to face this kind of bowling attack as well. So I think this experience will help them.
All right, yeah, it's not often you get the opportunity to play Pakistan, play India. You end up playing teams in and around those ICC rankings. So well done to Nepal, even though this was a big defeat. They have India coming up next. From a Pakistan point of view, let's also make the mention of Babar Azam, who has thrown the gauntlet to Virat Kohli. It's a question we asked pre-tournament, who's going to outscore the other in the never-ending debate of Babar versus Virat. I think it was heavily skewed towards Kohli from our panel of pundits pre-tournament, except for Urooj Mumtaz. And Babar's really set the bar pretty high, 151. That's a great way to start, I guess, for the Pakistan captain. Nothing that we didn't expect or haven't seen before, but this is a very satisfying personal innings for Babar Urooj.
And I don't mind being in the minority on that debate. So, and I'm guessing not vote Pakistan, but absolutely right. I think, yes, Nepal were minnows and Babar had the opportunity, but to grasp the opportunity and get the runs is a separate issue, a separate thing completely. And to start off with 151, obviously that's 151 Kohli now has to get to him. But I don't think the debate lies as to who gets more runs. I think Kohli always says that the runs matter if they come in the winning cause of the team. And I think that's what.
All right. Well, I didn't silence her because she picked Babar over Kohli. We'll get her back very soon. But for now, we're seeing some terrific cancellation of sound from Urooj Mumtaz. That wasn't by design. I'll tell you what is by design. Iftikhar Ahmed's innings, it's going to block out all the noise. Therefore, he is our JBL Mute the World player today. Well, Iftikhar comes under pressure, scanner, whatnot, when it comes to his performances for Pakistan, and then he plays an innings like that. We put into context that the opposition wasn't necessarily the highest standard, but it's not an easy role. Came in after a couple of wickets had fallen. So Wasim Jaffer, Iftikhar celebrates his maiden ODI 100, 109 not out of 71. That should at least silence the critics for now as I pick this up, so I can silence them myself. These lovely JBL headphones. That looks pretty cool. And Iftikhar could be doing that right now. We've seen KL Rahul do it. Just block out the noise because this boy's here to stay.
Yeah, and he's a quality performer. We have spoken about him. Whenever Pakistan's under pressure, he brings his A game. He did that against India in Melbourne. Did that today, even though it's against Nepal. But they were in crisis, little bit of crisis. But he came out and he backs his game. That's what I like about him. He plays his shots even under pressure. When somebody bats like in one-day cricket, it's never easy batting at 6 and 7. But to come out and play like that, and he's got all the game. He plays fast bowling well, he plays spin well, he plays well under pressure. So that's good sign for a Babar Azam and Pakistan.
For a player who bats at number 6, you tend to think sometimes you'll find a player who may not be technically as sound. You look at Iftikhar and you can't help but draw parallels with Misbah-ul Haq. Doesn't seem like a player that has an obvious technical deficiency. Hits sixes at will. Seems quite a solid number 6, doesn't he, Wasim?
He does. I mean, if given an opportunity to bat up the order, I think he can do that as well at number 3, number 4. But obviously, Pakistan batting is quite heavy there. But he does the job. He's got that game. He attacks really well, and when under pressure, If needed, he can defend really well and bowls decent off spin as well. So he's a good package.
Yeah, Urooj is back with us now. We're discussing Iftikhar as a mute the world player, Urooj, and that's what you get with these lovely headphones. I muted you unintentionally halfway through your last answer. But in all seriousness, I guess if there were fans or critiques of Iftikhar on whether there's a better contender for that number 6 spot, he's cancelled the noise quite clearly.
Yeah, I think you can send your headphones to him and he can wear them out next game. So they'll work beautifully. But I think it's because, and backing up Wasim's point, why he looks so technically sound is because he bats 4 in the domestic circuit in the longer version for his the side. So that's where his technique comes from. So when Pakistan are in turmoil and they lose wickets, he knows how to construct an innings. And we've seen in the T20 version as well, when he goes out later on, he's got the onslaught as well. So I think just his domestic form shows what he can do and convert now that given a fair chance at the ODI version.
All right, well done to Iftikhar. Will be feeling pretty comfortable. Geez, I'm going to take these off, but they're still so comfortable. I can actually leave them on. But Iftikhar Ahmed is our JBL mute the world player for that excellent 100. And he's given himself a 33rd birthday gift. The grand young man of Pakistan cricket, Iftikhar Ahmed. Right, that's pretty much it from this game. Pakistan moved to Sri Lanka next for the bigger challenge against India. Is this as good a result as they could have hoped for? Are there still areas that you think can do with some polishing?
Well, their top order, I mean, barring Babar Azam, the top order hasn't scored more runs. But I think talking about that, I mean, it will be a good sign. I mean, you haven't got runs, so you go into a next game, you know, pretty much you don't need more motivation that you're playing India. But I think you haven't got runs, so you want to get runs. Babar Azam will be feeling good. So not much. I feel, you know, they've got their bases covered. They scored well. They bowled really well. So it's a good game to go into, you know, playing against India. So I think they've ticked most of the boxes.
Yeah, they started a bit sort of sluggishly with the bat at the top. We were expecting the top 3 in great form. Those are the numbers we showed before the game, Urooj. I heard Andy Flower on commentary saying Fakhar has been struggling a little bit off late. Now, I don't know if he's talking just about the Afghanistan series, but from what you saw, does that also give you a little bit of a concern or an area that Pakistan should need to improve on against India, that Fakhar and Imam didn't look as comfortable as we would have liked them to be?
I mean, I don't think there's a place where they need to improve. It was a case of them not getting runs with Fakhar. It almost felt like because the Afghanistan series didn't go according to his caliber and what we expect of him, because he's the more fiery of the top 4. And in fact, Pakistan rely heavily on him to get quick runs, and then Imam and Babar and then Rizwan sort of steady the ship and bat longer. Because and it just felt like he was trying too hard, slashing outside the off stump. He does have a lack of foot movement, but that had gotten better. I just feel there will be, again, a lot of confidence given to him. I don't think there'll be any change whatsoever. And it'll just be a matter of time. He is a player for the big occasions. We've seen that multiple times. And it's just a matter of getting a few time strokes in. That's probably what it is. Imam, I thought it was just poor running. Again, he timed it really nicely and ran straight through. Rizwan as well, poor running again. So I don't think too much to worry about. And like you just mentioned, India, we don't need any more motivation. So I think the bet will come out.
All right, we leave it there for the time being. Let me just quickly check with Wasim and Urooj who their player of the match is. Babar for the 150 or Iftikhar for the blazing 100 that we felt took the game away from Nepal. And you have a few bowlers getting a few wickets, but I think this is the day for a batter.
Yeah, I would go with Babar because I think he steadied the ship and then obviously Iftikhar came in later and exploded. But I think it was Babar's inning which solidified the Pakistan innings. So I would go with Babar.
Well, I mean, Babar does it so often and he does it again. I just have to go with Ifti Mania. I will not go for Babar for a change. I think it was Iftikhar who got us to 342. Not that we needed as many, but I think his first 100, I'll give it to him.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Dr. Urooj Mumtaz. Always a pleasure having her back on our network. And Wasim Jaffer, as always, we'll hear plenty more from both Wasim and Urooj as the Asia Cup is only just getting started. We've got Bangladesh v Sri Lanka coming up tomorrow, so look forward to your company then on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket Info Matchday powered by JBL. Download the mobile app if you haven't already. It's a long tournament and it's a big few months of cricket in this part of the world. The Asia Cup is up and running and Pakistan have the first points. Bye-bye.
Stunning looks, then swift.
Make sure you download the ESPN Cricinfo app to stay updated with the very latest from the world of cricket.